Fatima had fled her war-torn homeland with nothing but the clothes on her back. She had lost her family, her home, and everything she had ever known. But even in the midst of all the chaos, she held on to one thing: hope. Hope that she would one day find a new home, a new family, a new life. In the refugee camp, Fatima found work as a nurse. She had always been drawn to helping others, and she found solace in being able to ease the suffering of her fellow refugees. It was there that she met Jack, a young American nurse who had volunteered to work in the camp. Jack was kind and gentle, with a smile that lit up the room. From the moment Fatima saw him, she felt drawn to him. They started talking, sharing stories of their lives before the war. Jack was fascinated by Fatima's strength and resilience, and Fatima was charmed by Jack's easygoing nature. As they spent more time together, Fatima and Jack began to fall in love. They knew that it was dangerous to pursue a relationship in the camp, with all the restrictions and rules. But they couldn't help themselves. They were drawn to each other like moths to a flame. They started meeting in secret, stealing moments alone whenever they could. They talked about their dreams for the future, their hopes for a life beyond the camp. They knew that they might never be able to be together in the outside world, but they held on to their love as tightly as they could. But then tragedy struck. One day, as Fatima was working in the clinic, a bomb went off nearby. The blast was deafening, and Fatima was thrown to the ground. She tried to get up, but she couldn't move. She could feel the blood pooling around her, and she knew that she was badly injured. Jack was one of the first responders to arrive on the scene. When he saw Fatima lying there, he felt his heart break. He knew that he had to do something, anything, to save her. He worked tirelessly to try and stop the bleeding, but it was no use. Fatima was slipping away. In her last moments, Fatima clung to Jack's hand. She looked up at him with tear-filled eyes and whispered, "I love you." And then she was gone, leaving Jack alone with his grief. For months afterward, Jack was a shell of his former self. He couldn't bear the thought of living in a world without Fatima. He knew that he had to leave the camp to get away from the memories and the pain. But he also knew that he would never forget Fatima or the love they had shared. Years later, as Jack looked back on his time in the refugee camp, he knew that he had been changed forever by his love for Fatima. He knew that she had given him a gift, one that he could never repay. And he knew that he would carry her memory with him always, a shining beacon of hope in the darkest of times.